So her name is Raul Joven,
Raul Joven.
and you served in World War II and Korea?
No, yes, in the Korean War, because I was in Japan and I was in the Air Force. Yes.
So you, what year, were you drafted or did you enlist?
Either one.
Did you get drafted or did you enlist in Army Air Corps?
I was drafted.
You were drafted?
I
What
was
year?
in New York, 1944.
1944, you're drafted?
Yeah, and then I went to the Pacific, in CBI, in the Far East. Yes. CBI, China, Burma, India. Yes.
And what was your position?
I was in a port battalion.
4th Battalion?
Port battalion, yeah. Because when I went in, I was in the Army, Then as time went by, somehow I got into the Air Corps and then in the Air Force in 1947. And I served in Alaska in radar stations. I served in the Panama Canal. I served in in Texas. I was on the Atlas missile, those missiles on this island. Yes.
Okay. And when you were in World War II, you said you went to the Pacific?
Yes.
What was your position in the military?
In a port battalion, loading the ammunition and the food and all that, It was a place where we got all this stuff from the United States. The ship came in and we unloaded, Yes.
What cities were you in the Pacific? Remember any islands that you went to, or?
I was in Calcutta, India.
Okay.
Yes. I was in the canal, Panama Canal, and I was in Alaska, in Anchorage, but they sent me to all the radar sites because we had to operate the generators and so on. And we also had to do the maintenance and all that, The radar stations were remote all over, close to Russia, by the ocean, facing Russia. We were watching Russia because in those days they didn't have satellites, They have big antennas instead, and that's the way they check on the Russians. And the first line, the due line. I was in the due line, first line of defense.
What was your most memorable moment serving?
Well, I think one of them was when I left from California on a troop ship. In those days they didn't send the troop by plane like they do now, In those days everybody went by boat, and they were thousands of GIs in a boat, and it was it was a mess, It was so many troops sleeping one on top of each other in canvas, and we had a long way to go to India, We went through the Pacific, and we went to the Indian Ocean and crossed the equator a couple of times because we were zigzagging, to evade the submarines, and so it was quite an experience. Also, in India, it was quite a experience too, but I wouldn't like to talk about that,
Okay.
because it was sad, very sad,
All right, Raul. Well, thank you very much for your time. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I just want to know what's this for now.